Morning guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is Monday the 10th of July 2023 as I'm recording this. It's currently 10 to 9 GMT as I'm here in the UK, and I'm just about to do my weekly outlook for this week, the week commencing the 10th of July, for the Forex pair that I trade on a daily basis, which is pound dollar. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my analysis for the week. I'm going to start off with fundamental analysis, looking at news and upcoming economic events that might affect the markets. And then I'm going to jump onto the charts on TradingView and check out the technicals for the week. As always, all the resources and the software that I'm using in this video will be linked in the description below, so make sure you check that out. And if you enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos. I've got quite a lot of different content on there, educational content to help you if you are looking to learn more about trading the Forex markets. Let's dive right in. So here I am on forexfactory.com having a look at the upcoming news and events for this week. So I'm on the calendar and I have this filtered onto the high impact news because I'm only interested in any news and events that may affect the market and provide opportunities for me to trade. So there's quite a lot of news for different major currency pairs, but I'll be focusing on news that affects either the pound or the US dollar. So firstly, looking at today, Monday, we've only got a little bit of pound news later on this afternoon. Moving into Tuesday, it looks like there's quite a bit of pound news, 7 o'clock in the morning GMT, claimant count change that might add a little bit of volume to the markets. Wednesday looks to be the biggest day this week for news. So it starts off with quite a bit of news coming out from New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, pound. And then at 1:30 in the afternoon GMT, we get some CPI news release for the US dollar, which does tend to add a bit of volatility to the market because that's quite a major news release, the Consumer Price Index. There's also some big news for Canadian dollar in the afternoon, so if you do trade any of these other currency pairs, just be aware of any upcoming news that may affect your trades. If you're in a trade, you might need to just manage it or just watch it closely. Moving on into Thursday, we do have GDP for the pound in the morning, so that's quite a big news event. And then also 1:30 in the afternoon for the dollar is called PPI and unemployment claims. Again, that tends to provide quite a bit of volatility to the market. So looking at this, it looks like Wednesday and Thursday are going to be the bigger days for me day trading pound dollar. Maybe Tuesday, depending on what this pound news is. But it'd be nice to get a little bit of volume back in the market and see if we can get some trading opportunities. And I'm just jumping onto the daily chart here for pound dollar now, just to look at some technicals on TradingView, the charting platform that I have used for about 5 years now. It's a brilliant platform. It has everything you need. So if you are looking for software to use for technical analysis, for charts, I definitely recommend TradingView. I'm quite excited about this week trading because, as you can see, we have been in this uptrend on the daily, making higher high, a higher low and a higher high. However, the last 2 weeks have been very choppy for pound dollar because we've been in this pullback phase. Now, last week, the week commencing the 3rd of July, started off very slow, ranging underneath this key level here on the daily. And then Friday, it may largely be due to the NFP news release, but we actually got this very large breakout of this area, which for me is very exciting because it means that now we've broken this key level on the daily. There's a very high chance that this pullback has ended now because we've broken this temporary key level that was keeping price under with momentum. And it may indicate that we're ready to begin another push phase, which is for me a really good phase in the market because that tends to provide the better, more high probability trading opportunities where I can capitalize, because the last few weeks have been very quiet, so it'd be nice to start making more money again. Now, as you can see, that daily candle from the Friday closed above the previous high, so we have actually broken this high, which means that for me now, I am looking for push trades breaking the previous daily highs because we are now pushing up. But as you can see, there are areas here on my daily chart that I'm going to be aware of. So firstly, you may notice this big yellowy orange box here, and this is a fair value gap that I've marked on the daily. from this point here is basically a large gap down. It's one candlestick, it dropped straight down, so it's left a big gap in the market. Now I think that will act as a magnet, and I think price will be drawn to go into there. What it will do, I do not know. We will find out when it gets there. It might push straight through, it might come in here, and it might range for another bit, it might drop down and range, and then it might break out. We're not really going to know until we get there. But it looks like it's ready to go into this area. And just hopping back to the weekly time frame and the higher authority time frame, I mean, you can see that last week closed this nice strong bullish candle up, breaking the previous high of the previous week, and again closing above that weekly high level there. And you can see this fair value gap is also on the weekly. So let's explore some potential options that price may do this week so that we can be prepared on whichever pattern it presents and be in a better place to respond to that. So I'm going to start off by just removing some of these old drawings. These horizontal lines here, the black ones, are institutional price levels, so I will be leaving those in because they are key levels in price where we may get a reaction to. They're at the whole and the half dollars. Now, what I'm looking at first is, because we have broken above this high here and closed, I'm going to use the Fibonacci retracement from this low. This is the new low now, and I'm going to drop it at the high. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to see what the three levels here, the optimum trade entry levels are. That's the 62%, 70%, and 79% levels. And I'm going to just draw those as a box and delete the fib just to make it a bit clearer. Because if we do get a bit of a pullback this week, that could be an area price drops into. It's also in line with that institutional price level. But considering we had such a large breakout push candle here, I do think that that's the less likely scenario. I think we're more likely to, as price is doing now, maybe just dip back a little bit into here just to get some liquidity. And I think it's more likely to just take off this week. So I'm also going to mark the high of this previous daily candle, the Friday. And also the low here. And because this was the previous daily high, I'm going to also mark that level. So we've got a few key levels drawn here from the daily. We've got institutional price levels. We've got this Fibonacci retracement level. I've got my previous daily high and low, and I've also got this key level, which marks the most recent high on the daily. So these are where price could create a reaction to on a faster time frame, and where it may present an opportunity for me to get into a trade. So my main analysis is always carried out on the daily because it's the higher authority time frame. It's the time frame most respected, especially by banks, institutions, and larger corporations. But I also like to hop to the 4-hourly time frame as part of my analysis for this coming day, this coming week, because you get a little bit more information. This is the same pullback we had on the daily, where we started to drop down and make these temporary swings lower. Consolidated quite a bit under this level, and then as you can see here, we got some momentum coming in, and we broke this key level, this institutional price level, with some momentum. So I'm very interested in this little breakout section here, and in there on the Friday we can also spot some fair value gaps. There's one right at the top here, so I'll just add that in just as an area of interest to watch. And there's also a very small one at the bottom here. If we look at the high of the wick from this candle, candle number 2 shoots up, and candle number 3's wick doesn't quite reach candle number 1's wick. So I will add that in as well. And because this is the most recent pullback on the Friday before it breaks out of this key level, I'm also applying my fib from the low of this little consolidation, dropping it at the highs, because I'd just like to keep an eye on this area as well. So I will mark that out as a key level and just delete the fib. So what I've done there is I've just made a little framework for areas that price may play around with at the start of this week. It might not, it might completely ignore this today, it might shoot up and it might just go straight up. Alternatively, as we can see from this open today, it has started to just drop down. We might get this drop down at the start of the week, and this area here, this fib level and this fair value gap, may be an area that price will fall into and we may start to get something like this, especially in confluence with Wednesday and Thursday, because we know that we've got some high impact news on the dollar coming out Wednesday and Thursday, and on the pound. That tends to be when the volume comes in, and if the news supports the technicals, it might give the volume it needs to push out of a pullback. But this is all speculation. That's what trading is about. It's about analyzing price, analyzing news, speculating on what you think can happen, creating different scenarios of what you think price might do, so that if it does do something that you have predicted and planned, if I get something that matches something I've talked about in this video, then I'll know that that is setting up for a trade, and that's when I hop to the faster time frame. So for me, that's the 5 minutes, and that's when I look for a trade entry. So my two main options would be a pullback into this area down here for a trade long, or quite simply, it would be a break of this previous daily high, a little pullback to get in long, and then hopefully riding the move up. So that is what I am going to be watching for this week on pound dollar. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you have gained something from my insights. If you have enjoyed it, do let me know by hitting that like button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel below. Have a brilliant week trading, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.